Number one manifestation and lifestyle podcast.
Do you believe in manifestation?
एक जिद सी आ गई थी कि सब कुछ मुझे चाहिए या फिर कुछ नहीं चाहिए. You will win. थोड़ा वक्त लग सकता है लेकिन सक्सेस इज guaranteed.
Do I believe in manifestation? No. If I really want something that badly, I'll just ask for it.
I तो manifested my partner. तो I feel कि अगर मेरा self love नहीं होता तो मेरा relationship जो है exist भी नहीं करता.
हम हर चीज सोचते कि भाई मेरे को ये मिल जाएगी, ये मिलना चाहिए, ये मिलने वाली, लेकिन कुछ भी नहीं होता है, कुछ मिलता नहीं. परवरदिगार तूने जो हमारे लिए सोचा था वो तो सही था, वो तूने दिया.
आई फील एज एन आर्टिस्ट तो बहुत ज्यादा रिकमेंड करता हूँ. आर्टिस्ट को तो बहुत जरूरत है बिकॉज आई फील एवरीथिंग एज एन आर्टिस्ट इज अबाउट द जोन.
When I do practice, I have found myself go to a realm which is very beautiful, very peaceful.
मुझे नहीं पता, मैं ये मैनिफेस्ट कर रही हूँ कि मेरे साथ सब सही हो जाएगा, कि हम सही सोच रहे हैं. तो मैं इस डर के साथ नहीं जा रही हूँ कि अब मेरे साथ क्या हो जाएगा, अब मेरा क्या.
कबीर वानी.
अमेजिंग पीपल लाइक कबीर वानी.
वेलकम टू कबीर वानी.
Welcome Sagar to Kabir Vani Podcast. I'm glad that you're here finally. I think अपना काफ़ी टाइम से बात चालू था podcast को लेके and I'm happy to have you here.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and I really feel that you are doing a great job.
Thank you so much.
Of course, बहुत टाइम से हम कर रहे थे तो this is the moment.
Yes it is. You know, I think आज का जो podcast रहेगा ना will be one of my favorites because I too come from an IT background.
Oh.
तो मेरे लिए IT का जो subject है हमेशा से बहुत क्लोज रहा है. बिकॉज आई हैव स्टडीड IT एंड आई हैव डन IT फॉर वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम. और मेरी एजेंसी भी थी बहुत लंबे समय तक. तो आज का जो पॉडकास्ट रहेगा मेरे दिल के ज़्यादा करीब रहेगा.
So it means we are siblings.
Yeah, we're the work siblings. Cool, yeah. Just tell me a little bit about you and what your journey is like.
So myself, Sagar Salvi, I'm a founder of CreativeWebo. So CreativeWebo is a custom software development company where we help startups, enterprise clients to develop a product, application, and AI-driven stuffs. So that's very straightforward. It's a technology company.
It's a technology business. What's your philosophy when it comes to technological business?
My philosophy is very straightforward. Technology is for the businesses and businesses are not for the technology. So whenever we are building any product or any solution, that needs to be scalable and that needs to be user centric, where it is solving the user's problem and end user's problem.
Correct.
And indirectly it should surface the business goal of the businesses.
You know, I'll ask you this right now. You're into a software development company right now. There are so many out there. How can a person find a right software? Let me ask you this correctly. How can a business find a right software for themselves?
It's an interesting question, I would say, because right now if you open Google, जैसे पान वाले के जैसे shops होते हैं वैसे digital agencies and software companies हैं. But the main differentiator is like you need to, as a business owner, you need to identify what is the domain understanding which they have. Are they really credible? Do they have an in-depth knowledge about the industry and the domain which you are in? And then they should have a good amount of portfolio to showcase in your industry so that they can able to identify your right challenge and they can give you the solution. And one more thing, agencies should not only be the service provider, they should handhold you and they should work you as a partner. So I believe finding a solution, software company, these are the key parameters
To look for it.
Yeah.
What are the different ways the IT companies work with their client?
So there are majorly couple of 2 to 3 models. One is like a fixed bid model where you have a small requirement, like if you are building any MVP, minimal viable project, then defining a scope and closing it in a fixed bid where you have a fixed cost and fixed timeline. And there is a retainer where the project life cycle happens in an iterative mode on a monthly or a weekly milestone wise. You deliver the output and the client do the billing on a monthly basis.
Are you facing any challenges as a software development company in 2025?
I would rephrase it as an opportunity. AI is already here and there are many SaaS based tools which are really automating the whole ecosystem of software development. But I would really look at it as an opportunity where we can try engage those stuff and improvise our productivity to reduce the cost of development.
But then, again, talking about the reason I said challenges was because of the factor that nowadays there are so many websites that you can just go and buy a software which is already ready. A development is already there, right? So what makes a person come and do the whole customization with you?
So majorly there are two solutions. One is the ready-made solution, and another one is a custom, and both has their own advantages and disadvantages. So let's say if you are a startup and if you really want to start immediately with a lesser investment, ready-made softwares are really a go-to product for them. But let's say you have a bespoke requirement and you have a very much customized workflow, then in that case, customized software is a go-to market for you, go-to solution for you, because it can be scalable and it can be more secure, and over the long run, it saves a lot of cost.
Okay, so it's okay for people to go for the ready-made as well.
Of course,
But then if they're looking for a long-term opportunity, it's better that they go for a custom solution.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, but then would custom solution be more money to start with? Or can they start with a ready-made and then jump to the custom solution?
Yes, of course. Let's say if you are building your own product from start, then you can acquire a new customer. You can start with the ready-made solution, and once you get a good amount of user base, then you can migrate your ready-made tool to a custom software where you can give more user experience driven solutions to them. You can solve more in-depth challenges of the user.
Okay. What's the biggest mistakes usually businesses make while turning an idea into a product?
I believe product is a solution which is giving you a solution to the problems. Okay. So most of the startups or most of the companies directly jumps into the development, directly jumps into the execution. But I believe before that, we need to do the research where what is the right challenge, what is the right business model to get the problems going into the solution. Are we really catering to the right audience? And what is the workflow? What is the scenario? What is the user base that we are catering to? What is the pricing model? So before developing anything, we need to do the thorough research from 360 degree, from a business viability point of view, from the complexity point of view, and from the scalability point of view. And then moving into the development would be the right choice.
Better choice. When is the right time for a company to invest in a customized software?
Whenever they are profitable. I mean, it is very much subject to the individuals. Let's say if you really want to start with small, then you can just take a small baby steps. But you already have a good amount of user base offline, and if you want to transform your offline process into the online ecosystem, then that can be the right time to initiate the custom software.
And because of course a lot of startups are jumping up right now. Now when they do a proper thought process while they're thinking, okay, this is a type of business that I want to get into, what amount of money should they have in mind that okay, this is going to be my technological or tech development for any kind of business?
So this question is very subjective. I believe what is your requirement and what you really want to achieve. So 3 lakh Indian rupees can also be good to start with, and even 10 lakh can also be a good budget to develop any application.
But basic minimum requirement would be somewhere 3 lakh rupees.
3 lakh Indian rupees. Yeah.
Good basic software that you require.
Yeah.
Now, what is your thought process when it comes to the platforms that we have nowadays? Yeah, I think Zoho is doing very good in India.
Odoo.
Yeah, I think Odoo is now kind of picking up. I think Zoho has really taken the market with a swamp right now, especially for the accounting firms and all.
Yeah.
What is your thought process with that? Do you think companies like Zoho and Odoo would take over any kind of custom developments?
I don't think so, because Zoho and Odoo is more of a generalized solution where their target market and their focus is the startup and initial business owners, where they have a solution which is very much generic to basic necessity. So as I said, when you have a customized workflow and when you have a customized scenario, then definitely you need a custom software.
Okay, so it's something that's not gonna go away. It's like
Yeah, I mean that has a different
Custom requirement
that has
will
a
be there.
different target audience, and custom software has a different target audience. I
and
believe.
you'll be able to make a custom software which can be integrated with Zoho or Odoo, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's the beauty of technology. I mean, you can communicate with any third party APIs, tools, and even I mean, recently we have been building a one ecosystem, a chat ecosystem, which is like a replica of Gemini,
Okay.
where we have been integrating 3 to 4 agentic AI tools in the application, and we are consuming just their smart AI ecosystem, and then we are just plug and play and giving the solution.
Very, very neat. I think the way technology is growing, I think you have to consistently be up to date with that.
Of course.
Talking about tools in the ecosystem, what comes to mind is the AI right now that's happening, right? The AI and automation tools. Everybody, I think there are coaches now, they call themselves AI automation coaches. What do you think the future is for AI and automation tools?
It's definitely a great future. I believe if you are really not adopting the AI now, then you will be out of the market. So even in any process, even in any business you take operations, you take business development, or even you take technology or a custom software development. So AI is accelerator for your business. So you really can't be dependent always on it, but you can just get it as your secondary helper to
the
get
assistant.
your assistant. I mean, autonomous vehicle, you can say,
Right.
to drive your own vehicle, but you need to sit in your
Making sure that it's working. It's not going the wrong way.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you the toughest question of all. Do you think AI is going to take over?
No, I don't believe. As long as humans are smarter, there is no other technology who is more smarter than AI in human. That, of course, AI is a game-changing trend. I mean, it's not a trend; it has taken over. But you really definitely need a human touch to it. Be it AI, be it any automation, but human is always required. But adopting AI would be
It's important. Learning and adopting AI is going to be important.
Yeah.
But because you come from the software background, and of course you are into ITs, we know the coding that we used to sit there and write for days, it can be done through AI in hardly matter of minutes, right? You think people who have learned coding are facing challenges of losing their jobs?
Yes, as technology has always been evolving since it got started. Adapting yourself with new stuff, new technological trend, new languages. AI has just come now, but engineers and developers are like, they really know how to unlearn and learn the stuff. So yes, of course, those developers who are not adopting the AI, they will really run behind the race.
Yes,
and
they'll be leaving behind. So it's better to adopt AI technologies right now.
Absolutely, anytime.
AI may take over as long as you don't update yourself and follow the trend, but you're good, and AI will not take over as long as you're learning and being up to date with it. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. When it comes to individual, of course, that's the
What should be a person's mindset when they're thinking about, okay, abhi mujhe kuch naya seekhna hai. So what should they learn? What should they think about going forward?
So firstly, we need to identify where is the supply and demand as an individual, and then finding where is the demand and finding what tech stuffs are really growing in the market, what new technologies are coming up. I'm specifically talking about the technologies. Okay, what frameworks are coming upon. I believe that's the right approach to learn further stuffs. I believe.
Do you have a course that you would want to recommend? Okay, you know what, go and I'll hire you if you get it done.
I mean, ChatGPT is there, Google is there, Udemy, all the other. I mean, you open Google, you get knowledge everywhere. So the person really need to be persistent, and he need to have that perseverance to get the knowledge adapting.
Fair enough. Let's say if a small business comes to you and they want to now start digitizing themselves, what will be the simplest first step that they have to take?
So firstly, as I said, they really need to identify the right business model, okay, the right targeted audience, and they need to have a roadmap of coming 5 years. Okay, and then initially taking a small step, making one MVP, like minimum viable product, launching it in the market. Try seeing the audience response, get the feedback, and then work on those feedback, and then improvise your application. So I believe that's a very iterative approach where every startup owners or every startup founders really need to adopt. I think.
Okay. You said twice MVP, minimal viable product. Can you tell me a little bit more about that and why you're emphasizing so much on it?
Okay, so let's say there is unorganized industry. Okay, the industry where you haven't seen any product. You are the first one who is going to create it. And when you are building a product where there is no competitor to it, you have two responsibilities. One is you need to create the awareness about those services and those offerings, and then you need to make a product which can really solve the ground level problem. So I believe starting with minimum viable product is a go-to strategy for any businesses to try and test whether this would work or not. What iterative changes that I need to do, or whether it really can give me that level of profit or that level of sustainable business. So I believe MVP is the right go-to strategy for any startup to enter into unorganized industry or unorganized market.
What would be the price point that you should keep in mind while you are creating your MVP?
It is really depend upon what kind of requirement you have. Okay. Let's say if you really want to build something which is more of a onboarding user, then I believe 3 to 4 lakhs would be enough to kickstart with any mobile application or any web application for that matter.
Approximately, that's something you MVP that has to be that.
And sky is the limit.
Naturally, of course. Then it's up to you how much you can pull out of people naturally. Okay, cool. What do you think it's a balance between speed and quality into a product? Especially the tech product.
I would say I would have a contradict answer to it. I mean, it's a myth. You really can't achieve a quality in a speed, because when you really try to run behind the speed, then you can get into the market faster. But when you have a quality, then you will sustain in the market. So that's the difference. But of course, having a right procedure, having a right process, and overall team can able to achieve this milestone.
Let me ask you this in a different way. Okay, should I start with quality or should I start with speed?
I believe you should start with both. Because if you really can't achieve the speed, then somebody else may.
Is gonna be
and you will start looking into the quality, but getting into the market and trying the user's behavior would be the really initial step, I believe. But the product and the solution really needs to cover all the basic scenarios, the overall user experience, and the usability and overall stuff really needs to get going.
Okay, fair enough. Now, being into business right now, it's already so much dilemma. Is it better that you have your own in-house team, or is it better that I hire and outsource my IT work?
So let's say if you are into any particular business model and you are really expert into it, then I believe outsourcing the stuff would be the right choice, because managing the whole tech team is altogether a different challenge unless you have a domain understanding and unless you have that amount of bandwidth. So I always recommend my client, you start with outsourcing for first year, and you set up something which is more viable, which is running and which is giving you the revenue. And then down the line, if you really want to progress into more scalability, you can start hiring the team in-house.
Okay. Yeah. Now, but when you said, I completely agree, because outsourcing is something that you should definitely do, because finding the right talent into the IT industry can be challenging. But also finding the right outsourcing company can also be a challenge, because they may be able to portray that, oh, you know what, hum ye kar sakte hain. But then when you actually onboard them, they're not able to fulfill or deliver. So how can you find the right outsourcing company for yourself? In-house tech team or outsource your work?
Outsource the work.
Okay. And if I have to outsource the work, how do I find the right outsourcing company?
So firstly, you need to identify the partner who is really aligned with your vision. Okay. So the person or the company really need to be that trustworthy and that reliable, where irrespective of any situation, let's say if it is a great situation, not so good situation, challenging situation, that outsourcing partner should stand with you, because we are doing the business, but we are dealing with humans. So if we are really aligned with humans, then I believe that's a best collaboration partnership in the long term, I believe.
Let me talk a little bit about mindset, right?
Mhm.
Like, so especially when someone's thinking of starting a new startup, right?
Mhm.
And you can answer this with your experience. Okay, I'm gonna put a scenario in front of you.
Okay.
Okay, there's going to be a client who's gonna come to you
Mhm.
that has a website that I want to create.
Okay.
Okay, there's going to be a e-commerce website, which is going to have a part of customization and a wallet program. That's
Okay.
like for the people who are consistently uploading and taking care of their for point system,
Mhm.
so they can come and take the points, and the gift card system, so they can go ahead and give it to
Customer
their friends, and
retention.
customer retention and all. So a person comes to you, has no knowledge about it,
Mhm.
and would like to go ahead and start this. So
Mhm.
I want you to tell me, how would you guide them?
So I believe making an e-commerce website is very fundamental go-to stuff for this, because when you have a product, online e-commerce product, then you start getting inquiry, you start getting customers, okay, and then by the time once you're successfully doing that, then you can parallelly develop all these modules aligned. Okay, then you can launch each module one at a time, because your existing customers are already in it, and then you can attract more new customers with all these new features and add-ons.
Okay, so this is a step by step something that you
Yeah,
would
it is
recommend.
always step by step, because then you can pivot your whole the scenarios, and you can pivot your whole um, um, business model.
Business model. Okay. What role would your experience play in a product success?
UX, I believe UX is everywhere. I mean, in product, in real life, in everywhere. UX really helps product to grow in long run, because the person, the end, if you are talking about the end user, if he's finding the whole buying system or whole the navigation system easy, then he can retain on your app, and he can be there, and he can keep coming. So UX plays very important role when it comes to when you are already into a competitive market and you really want to take a lead. Then I believe having a great user experience can drive the new user base and also retain the existing user base.
Do you think people nowadays are compromising on UI UX?
I don't think so. I mean, there are many examples out there who are the products and the apps. I'm talking about D2C apps who are purely successfully working because of UX.
Okay. Can you give one example of the most successful brand that you must have worked with? You don't have to take name, but what was the
I would really like to take a name.
Sure,
I mean,
go
I've
ahead.
been
That would be
ordering the
great.
food. So Zomato is there, Swiggy
Okay.
is there. So I always like Zomato user experience,
Okay.
irrespective whether Swiggy is providing me all the level of discount, but my first and foremost preference is Zomato, where I make the purchase.
Because the interface makes you feel
That's
comfortable.
the differentiator the user is going to get through the UX.
UX. Okay. All right. Fair
And,
enough.
and in India, when we are dealing with tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3 cities, then the user's mindset and their persona and their overall approach of adopting those tech is different.
Of course.
So you really have to think from a larger perspective when it comes to the product development,
Okay.
where the user experience plays the major role.
Do you have any success story of your own? Have you worked with any software that you would like to share with us?
There are many, but I would really like to emphasize on one thing. We were working with a Bangalore-based startup. They were really solving the parking problem when you are driving your vehicle, and then you really don't have a parking space available wherever you are going. So we help them creating the whole mobile application,
Okay.
and then up to certain level, they have got a good user base, and then they have got the funding as well. And now with the help of funding, they have hired an in-house team, and they are successfully running the whole company, and they're profitable.
Wow. So so that's like the most wanted thing in India right now.
Yeah.
That you can find a parking spot wherever
Yeah.
it's like. So how does it work? Like, is it available in Mumbai?
Yeah, it is available in Mumbai in couple of spaces.
Really?
Yeah, and they are expanding in all of other cities in India.
That's amazing, because I think that is literally the need of the hour. Especially, I don't know about other states, but in Mumbai, definitely I think people would pay arm and a leg just so they can find a parking spot where the car is not being towed away and they're not being charged.
Yeah,
for parking on the road.
that's what we do. I mean, you come up with your idea, we
Wow.
can make a beautiful product out of it.
Great, yeah, I really like that, and I love the fact that how you said this. Come up with an idea and we'll make a product for you. What is your vision for next 3 to 5 years for software development?
So my overall vision was always to be a first point of partner to all the businesses or the clients to whom we are working. And we always believe in a long-term relationship. So our first client is still with us and doing the business with us. So if I talk about vision in one line, monetary basis, I would really like to take my company to 100 CR turnover in coming 3 to 5 years.
Wow.
And from a philosophical point of view, I always really like to be CreativeWebo a first and foremost priority for any companies to develop their overall application and product.
Beautiful. Well, more power to you on that, for
Thank
sure.
you so
Because
much.
I know that you have a team of a 30-member plus, and you have now also registered globally as well. Tell me a little bit about that. Which all countries do you work with?
So as we are into a service segment, so there is no restriction with respect to any country. So we work in Middle East, we work in North America, we work in Europe. So we have many clients all across the globe. Recently, we have registered our company in Dubai, specifically to target the UAE market and the whole GCC market, because that's a growing market altogether, I believe.
Very nice. And if you had to work with one special company, like let's say your dream project, what would that be?
I would really like to work with Tata's.
Ah,
I mean, Tata Communication is our existing client, but that's the vertical. But I would really like to work with Tata because their fundamentals are so soulful, and I really like to associate with
work
them.
with that. I'll tell you what, Ratan Tata sir was one of my dream guests for my podcast
Oh.
list. And when I found out about that when he passed, I was like, oh, I wish I could have done something differently and got him on my podcast. But I can really understand working with Tata is just
Yeah.
a different mindset. Absolutely. But apart from numbers, and you have made your company so amazing, what does success really mean to you?
I really need to. Success for me is like whenever I go to my home every night, I need to have a peaceful sleep. Okay, I have really contributed in people's life. When I say people's, the peoples who are into business and where I'm associated with. So for me, success is that.
And let's say if somebody wants to reach out to you and work with you in terms of creating softwares and all, what services all do you offer?
So we do 360-degree services in product development. So let's say from UI UX strategy to overall development, then DevOps, then security, and then maintaining the whole application, and then further continuing that everything we do. And we also do outsource our resources on contractual basis. So let's say if any IT companies or any agencies or any funded startup really like to hire resources on a contractual basis, like for a quarter or for a 6 months, specific talent,
Okay.
then we do that as well.
Oh, very nice. Okay. And how can a company or any of these people will be able to reach out to you?
You can definitely come to our Dubai office, and of course,
Give Mumbai office as well. Stop showing off. It's okay. We know you have an office in Dubai.
I can.
Cool.
So
Okay.
you can visit our website www.creativewebo.com.
Okay.
You can just tap on contact us, and then anybody from our team can reach out to you
Reach
within
out.
24 hours.
Great. And tell me a little bit about you, your background, and your partner's background as well. So our audience knows that how strong you come from this industry.
That's really interesting and filmy story. I mean, we are 3 partners, by the way, and we come from kind of a salaried background where our parents were into 9 to 5 jobs, and then we were also. So we were working in couple of IT companies, good companies, and then we are a childhood friend, by the way. So we enrolled in Wellington to do the postgrad MBA in IT. And then one day we sat in the library, and then suddenly we came up with the thought okay, we are already doing the job and we are already helping our companies to grow more and earn more. Why can't we start? Then we started with the idea to providing a creative web solution. That's why we name our company CreativeWebo. So that time, I mean, during that time, I believe in 2017 or 19, Creative Web objective was that, and we booked the domain there itself.
Okay.
And then we started with very, I mean, we ourselves used to code. We hired then interns, and then slowly, gradually, we enhance our team. And then right now, we are a team of 30 people and really delivering a great projects. I mean, trust me, touch wood. I mean, the retention that we have, the existing client retention is good. And as we also say that we are your technology partner, so our client also say that, okay, you are like a brothers to us. I mean, that's the beauty of doing the business with humans. I mean, the AI will really not replace here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I cannot emphasize enough that, your story of working together as a childhood friends, or like Jay and Veeru type is going on, right?
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. And I really appreciate that. And I really hope that, your 100 crore mark comes soon, and your Tata is coming to you very soon with some amazing project that they're working on. Now, because since we are coming to the finale of the podcast, I would want to go ahead and take this through a quick fire round. Are you ready with that?
Of course.
Very cool. First coding language you ever learned?
JavaScript.
Oh, me too. A tech tool you can't live without?
Google Workspace, I believe.
One startup you admired globally?
Apple.
Biggest myth about software development?
It can be developed in a lesser time and lesser cost.
Agreed. One book, podcast that inspired your journey?
I am not a book lover, but I would recommend a couple of movies. I mean, Founder is the movie I really love, and then Networking is also a movie I really love. So there are, I mean,
So
if you ask me any movie,
Okay, so Networking and Founders.
Yeah.
Okay, great. If CreativeWebo were a tech product, what would it be?
It would be the company who would be really getting into your neurobrain and help you automate whole your activities.
You're just trying to create a Terminator. That's what you're trying to do. Okay, cool. I really appreciate that. And okay, so this was our end of the podcast. I am glad that we came here. I think the time frame turned out to be a little shorter because we could have spoken more about the content that we had when it comes to IT. And to my wonderful viewers, IT is something which is always been the backbone of Indians. We all Indians, I think everywhere in India you find there is going to be an IT engineer. Software development, if you are doing something in that way, guys, don't worry, it's not going out of style. We have a person like him who's started from a long time but still learning and growing. So make sure that you're doing the same thing. You can reach out to him if you're looking for a wonderful company to work with as well. Or if you're starting your own, don't worry because you have a lot of potential. Just remember what Sagar said. You have to make sure that you're consistently learning and growing with AI. As long as you do that, it won't be able to replace you. Well, that was our time with Kabir Vani Podcast. Share this with your friend who's learning or working with IT or thinking about joining IT. We're on Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and on 11 plus audio platforms. If you're not able to find us online, make sure you go ahead and leave it in the comment section below and we'll make sure to see you there. Well, until next podcast.